I would just say build a better deck.
Cool story, bro.
Ooh, welcome to the CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowry Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
There's a little funny thing that happens. I don't know if you noticed this. I noticed it because last week, for those that are watching, we completely missed an episode because we didn't, but it got banned. So we couldn't, it's no longer up there. But when I was editing, trying to make it so we could actually have that video, right before I go from the opener to the kick in, all of a sudden it flashes to me. So I'm glad that I'm not like putting my finger up my nose during that time, because I'm like, all of a sudden it's just me sitting there on camera. So anyways, let's just on air stuff. Anyways, speaking of, this is episode 373. And like I mentioned, 372, Urza's for life. Thank you, Tad. 372, you can't see anywhere. It's nowhere to be found. You can't see it. The only way, the lucky people that were on when we are live, so that's an incentive to join us live, because maybe we'll get shit banned and you won't be able to see it. So,
That's not the plan. How about that?
No, it isn't. That's our first one that we have not been able to play, even after I tried to edit it. So I guess, do you want to? Yeah, they used the ban hammer. RoboCop, you are correct.
It was a great episode.
It was an awesome episode.
It was a lot of fun.
The good news is, if people that are watching this want to, and they haven't listened to it yet, we do have, you can listen to the audio. So that is up, and actually I have it linked in this video below, and I'll probably have that there for the next couple videos or next couple podcasts. So if you wanted to check it out, because probably for the rest of the tournament, just so if you want to hear the whole drafting and all that stuff. So Lowry, do you want to inform everybody what we did for those that didn't see the video?
So last week what we did was we did a 64 pick tournament for the best musical theme songs for shows ever created. Obviously, we have some blind spots, but I think it was a really good list and a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
And it was super nostalgic for us. Learned a couple of good ones along the way, because there's some that I haven't heard. Like, I'm not an aficionado by any means, but it was a ton of fun. But that comes with a lot of music that we don't own the copyright to on any of them.
I've never seen so many we didn't get copyright strikes. We just got copyrights, and they're like, this isn't a strike against you. You're not, like, doesn't hurt your channel, but we're not playing this thing. Like, you are not going to be able to put this out there. Yeah. So that was
so they so that's what. And then Adam went back and he was like, you know what, how about I just shorten all of the music, because we just played the whole thing all the way through, expecting it to not get monetized.
Yeah,
like, that's how we started out. We're just like, well, that's fine, that's cool, we just want to do a cool episode. And then they're just like, there is no way you can play this,
even though
this
so I tried
will
to
never
do
exist.
Tricky shit, like with the editing. So this is the bullshit part too.
So you're trying to shorten it down to 8-10 seconds, and they're like, no, you
nothing.
cannot do this.
Nothing. You have 40, 60 some of these. But the funny thing is, I tried to do some sneaky stuff where I did like 10 seconds and then I cut it out, and then it was just us, which was weird. Like, if you watch, I wish I could show it. There's a lot of us, we're listening to it. So then it just goes silent. You know, when I cut out that part, it's just like nobody's talking. It's like, this is fucking weird. Well, then I tried to bring it back in at the last 5 seconds to be like, oh, so you get a front end and the back end of the song. But yeah, it
didn't matter. Either way,
they frowned against that. But speaking of that, though, we do have the tournament voting for Lowry's side of the bracket is up live right now. Mine will go up tomorrow. I'll get that up. We're gonna keep Lowry's live. Originally, I was like, you had mentioned let's have the voting be done for you, and we'll do the results. We didn't get enough votes because no one knew that the video is like, they were like, what the fuck is all this? So when you start voting tomorrow, or you can vote for the Lowry side now, but when the other ones start popping up, vote for them all if you haven't voted for them. So we'll give a proper, vote total next week and who moves on to the 32. So it was fun though. Like there's some really good matchups. We have a couple of them that are at 50-50 or within a vote or two of 50-50. So there's some close ones mixed in there. So
all right. I don't like hearing that.
Oh, should I just go through them really quick? Like kind of mentioned we were going to do that so people can...
Yeah. I'd say we can go through those, right? Just to be like, yeah, go vote for those.
Okay. So right now on Lowry's side that you can vote for, we have Lowry's number one overall pick against the last pick, which is X-Men versus Star Trek Next Generation. Then we have Stranger Things versus Bluey, Power Rangers versus Home Improvement, Ghostbusters versus Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Animaniacs versus Doug, Sopranos versus Unsolved Mysteries, SNL versus Baywatch, Pokemon versus Transformers, and then the lower part of the bracket, Simpsons versus Fraggle Rock, Full House versus Married with Children. That one's a close one. Family Guy against The Mandalorian. Mr. Rogers and Dexter are at a dead heat at 50-50 at the last time I looked. Friends versus Andor. Succession versus Ted Lasso. Muppet Show versus Captain Planet. And then Batman versus Reading Rainbow. And I'm going to give you this little hint in the first 20 votes. Reading Rainbow is one of our biggest upsets because that's a number 5 going against 60. So just
kinda... No, when you did that one, I was like, oh shit, totally missed it. That was gonna be, what's that one up against?
What, Batman against Reading Rainbow?
Oh really? Oh god damn it.
Yeah, Reading Rainbow. Okay, so the ones that will go up tomorrow is my number 1 overall pick, which was Game of Thrones, and that's going against Conan, the Conan opener for his show. Cheers versus Goof Troop. Gargoyles versus Loki, Chippendales versus Firefly, SpongeBob versus Rocko's Modern Life. I think SpongeBob is going to blow that one out of the water because I forgot about Rocko's Modern Life when you picked that one. And then I was like, oh, that's a really good one. And that's when I was like, oh, it's a B-52s. I brought it up to Cindy and like her family over the weekend for, Easter stuff.
Yeah.
None of them have ever seen the show. Like I'm showing them pictures and like, I don't reckon. I'm like, what? How do you not know Rocko's Modern Life? But
Nickelodeon. It just wasn't as big.
Yeah, well, Cindy's family, when I came into the picture, they would show me videos, things that were from the 80s, and it was on the little click, 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 click cameras, and like it was just like, why do you guys not have sound? And the sound was invented like 20 years before this. Why are you guys doing this? So they didn't have cable and all that. Okay, so then we have Sesame Street versus The Office. I think that one's going to be a good one. That 70s Show versus Rick and Morty, South Park versus Malcolm in the Middle, abbreviations here, TMNT and TWD, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles against The Walking Dead, Saved by the Bell versus Tailspin, Darkwing Duck versus Family Matters, DuckTales versus Law and Order, Scooby-Doo versus Beavis and Butthead, X-Files versus Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Inspector Gadget versus Futurama, and Fresh Prince versus the Jetsons. So lots of voting that you can currently go do right now on Lowry's side. And then tomorrow we'll have the rest of it. So
go do that.
Yeah. And then next week we'll announce the 32. And then I guess the winners, we just sing it. I don't know.
I don't think we got to do that. But so today, episode 373, as we're letting that all unfold, we're going to be talking about game changers that we would potentially add to that game changer list for Commander. There is going to be a ban announcement and or unbanning more than likely.
Is that tomorrow?
Yeah. And if you're on the audio, it was yesterday, so you got the whole hubbub. And so essentially we're just talking about things that could be added to the list. They might be updating this and we might be right or wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I would
This
assume this
is
first one is going to be unbanning and putting stuff on the game changer list. I don't think they would put stuff that isn't banned in this first round. I think in the future they might, but it'd be weird had they already did their announcement thing. Now I feel like it's going to be the unbanned part. Don't you think? Like that's my
I mean,
gut
it
feeling.
depends, because if sometimes when you unban something, you ban the other thing that's the other part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when Iona was banned, they unbanned Painter's Servant.
Yeah.
And you don't have both of them in the same format. And so if there's something like that they're like, oh, we could unban this, but this together makes it awful, so let's get rid of that. I can see that happening.
Is there any off the top of your head, and putting you on a spot here, that you can think of that were like go hand in hand?
I'm just making up an excuse. I don't know, man.
Lay off me. I'm tired.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So the long and skinny of this is, if we had to choose what we think goes on the list, we would say none of them. So, but if we had to choose some, these are probably the ones that we're kind of thinking that might make that list if they decide to add some more stuff.
Expand the list.
Yeah. And then we may finish up depending on time. I think we will have enough time, but we have a Stump the Smith Savant, which we haven't had in over a month and a half. And if we get to it, it is Red Squirrel that will be trying to stump you. And I believe the last time you did get stumped, so this will be a brand new card. And I think we're gonna, speaking of like Darkwing Duck and stuff, the prize will be the Clever Concealment foil Darkwing Duck. Good. So this and the Darkwing Duck, Let's Get Dangerous Clever Concealment. So I've changed all my Clever Concealments over to that one because I freaking love that art with that. So anyways, let's see, is there anything else? How was your Easter and all that? You had people busy over? Yeah. And then you went traveled around. You just got back today.
Mm-hmm.
So just
no, it was a good time. Good to always see as many people as possible, and then good to not see them for a while after that.
They won't listen to this, so you're good.
Right. Sure. I mean, even the people that that could or would watch it, Mark's like the only one.
Yeah. So. He's like, I get it, Lowry. I get it.
And I'm going to see him in like 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
We good.
All right. Well, let's get to this episode so we don't get too long with this, especially since, we're both a little exhausted from the weekend and stuff. So really quick, there are a couple things. Lowry, you did a deck tech this week. Was from an old
I did
one.
A Xavier Sol deck tech. So if you want to look at the Super Friends style of deck that I built out of that, it's about 13-14 minutes long. Yeah. You can check that out on the YouTubes. And so that's the black, blue, green fungus pirates thing.
You're removing a counter and able to add
populate or sacrifice a creature to proliferate.
Yeah.
So
cool. So yeah, check that out. Then I also did Fellothar Big Butts Commander. So that is, I killed my Arcades deck. I think that's my first official. No, I've killed other decks that we've done on the cast, but that was one deck that I had done early on doing the cast, and I was trying to hold on to those as much as possible. But I like this one a lot, so I did the final deck tech on Fellothar. It's actually a lot of fun. I've been goldfishing it. I can't wait to get it out in the wild when I play with you guys in 2 weeks here. Yeah. But it can go off. Like the trees, the Tree of Redemption, the Tree of Perdition, they're all stars in it because you get that out. And even if you just sacrifice them right away, you're drawing 13 cards. But if you can change somebody's life and draw their life total of cards while also having like a Psychosis Crawler out or things like that, like it can be pretty crazy with that one. So I've had a lot of fun.
I believe it.
Yeah. I'll say this. Arcades is a good deck for people that are starting out because it's play your commander, or in the beginning, playing your walls. You have blockers and stuff, so you don't have to worry about losing life. And then you play your commander, and then it's play creatures, draw cards. So it's like kind of getting you used to playing creatures, getting a benefit from it. So it's really nice for beginners. This one's more complicated because you got to figure out which ones you want to play out, when you want to sacrifice them to draw the cards. It's a little more advanced, I guess. And
Yeah.
I like it a lot more. That's why I didn't go to Arcades, because it was just like, Arcades is pretty straightforward. This has a bunch of different ways that it can do things. So, but that video is up. I did a little bit, the last 20 minutes, I did some gold fishing, so you can see how it can kind of go nuts on that as well. So that
Very
is
cool.
up there as well. So yeah, really quick, the way you guys can support us is, if you've clicked this video to watch, you might as well click the video, give it a subscribe, give it a like. That helps us out. That is the free way to support us. Any of our videos, any of our stuff, just check us out there.
And YouTube, if you want to support us, stop banning our shit.
Yeah, because that would have gone viral. There was the tournaments. Actually, we were getting
There's so much potential there.
was. But yeah, like I said before, if you still want to watch that, it is linked below in the description. You can click on it and listen to the audio part. It was still a lot of fun for the audio, but yeah. So freeway there, YouTube, all that stuff. I'm not going to continue if you like me, hit the like button. If you like Lowry, subscribe, give us money and all that stuff. But I will say, the financial way to support us is join the Discord. That is our Blue Sky. That is our Twitter. So if you want to hear us chatting there and all that, then we're actually interacting with you a lot more. Just $1 gets you in there. So $12 a year gets you into the Discord. You can chat with like people. You can go through all the deck tech stuff. We have tons of shit on there. Yeah, so that's the free way. But also, if you want to go into the higher tiers like $5, $10, you can get these foil proxies or regular proxies each month. I tend to try to get out 4 new proxies each month. I have 6 that are coming this month. So I haven't showed them off. I did on the Discord, but I haven't made them yet. But it is the trees, both trees I was talking about, and one with the giving tree. You know, that book, The Giving Tree.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is the tree from Game of Thrones, the one, the bleeding eyes and all that stuff. The Wirewood tree? Weirwood?
Yeah.
Weirwood? Whatever. With Jon Snow in it. So proxies, we give a little benefit to becoming a patron. Then the other ways you guys can support us financially is you can check out the store. That is also in the link below. It's where you can get the mugs that we have on camera here. We have foil tokens and all that stuff. And do you not have your mug? You didn't like a look that you didn't.
I mean, I've been drinking from it the whole time. I just
gotcha. But that is another way. And then, I guess I should mention this: the raffle. We do have a raffle going. That isn't necessarily supporting, but that is just a little fun thing we got going on there. There you go, pointing the. Which way do you point? Nope. Yeah, you're right. That's the. How do you do? Which way do we point? I remember my first screens. So it's the foil retro, etch foil retro fetch lands, enemy fetch lands. You can see those there. So every $1 that you donate is 1 ticket to potentially winning these. So once we hit that, hey, what's up, J13? Once we hit that 150, we will spin the wheel and somebody will win all 5 of those. And at the same point, we'll take them a large shot. All right, that is all the supporting stuff. That is all the fun stuff. If you need to get a hold of us, make sure you're in the Discord. That is the easy way. But if you're not in the Discord, email us at CommanderSmiths@gmail.com, and Lowry can wake up from his nap. And let's get to the beer and pizza of this episode. What are we on? We're doing card preview stuff here. All right. So we are doing game changers that we want to add to the list. I wouldn't say we want to necessarily add to the list.
Not the way we want to say it.
Right.
If we were to add, this is probably what we would do. But I think we would also probably prefer to reduce it, just like the ban list.
Right. But there are cards that I guess this is what I wanted to kind of pick your brain at. When you went about looking at these, when you think of game changers, I guess what are your thoughts on what would classify as a game changer for you, like to make that list?
So I think I try to look at it from Wizards' point of view, as in if it's really, really good in CEDH, I think that's where their viewpoint was from. And if it dominated there, that is where they really turned it into a game changer. And generally that would transfer into being really like almost too good and casual. And that's why if you have one of them, you're just basically a level 3. And so that's kind of where I was looking at it, is just like, what are the cards that really legitimately turn a game? I tried to leave off game winners.
Okay.
Because those are acceptable.
Right. You mean like
you
once
want a game
you
to
have
end,
this and
you don't want to just put every game winner as a game changer, because then level 2 just has no way to win, right? Like if you're just in level 1. And so that's, in my mind, fine when you play Crater Hoof but other people would disagree. So there's that, right? And then I looked at, I thought that fast mana is likely something that they're looking at, especially with last fall's bannings and looking at some of the big mana stuff that they have going on. I don't know if any of that's going to make my list, because I have like 13 and it'll depend on what you choose and stuff like that. But
and we did do
so
this.
that's kind of what I was doing, is just like, for us, we generally we're not playing CEDH, and we're not quite high power because we're not doing some of the things that they're doing, but we are playing upper. We're a 7. We're a solid 7 if we're doing numbers.
Wait, get rid of the numbers.
We're a strong 3.
We're 3. There you go.
We're a strong 3.
A strong 3.
And so like if it comes down and I feel like it has changed the game and everybody's going, oh shit, how do I deal with this? Because that's not every card. And so like there are definitely cards on this list that for me is just like, it literally changes the game when they come down, and it becomes problematic. And then the last piece that I tried to bring in is, because there's still a lot of cards out there that can just come down and change the game, but they have to be being played a ton.
Yeah,
you kind of got to be seeing them. Like if you're playing at a LGS and you get 2-3 games in a night, like for a week or a month, you got to see it a couple times a month.
Right. For example, like Armageddon, we never see that, but it doesn't get played that much. But when it does,
it's on the game changer list, I believe.
Oh, whatever.
But it has its own category.
Right. But you know, like any of the destroy all lands stuff, like those that make my list, because I haven't seen that played like since we played Commander. Basically, I can't even think of a person that's played. Well, besides Trombley. Never mind. I forgot.
Because it's part of the social contract, as in, this isn't really the game that we're playing. It's just going to make things longer unless you have a way to win. And so, yes, that is exactly what I was thinking, as in there are a shit ton of cards that can make a game miserable and change. But if it's not being played a ton and nobody's really like complaining about it, then it just doesn't really make the list.
J13, that he was our old patron. He said, have we thought about doing CEDH now and then on the cast and talk about that kind of stuff? We try to mix it in, but the thing is like, it's just not our play style. Like, because the thing is we're kind of getting off topic really quick, but I'll just kind of fill this in. Is like, before EDH, we were playing 60 card casual, but it's the thing we always talk about why we got into Commander is the games were done so damn quick. Like, it just, you knew it was going to win within the first 3 minutes of playing, and then a night we'd get like 20, 30 games in, and it just got boring for us. And I guess things have changed in how our play styles are. It's more, I would much rather play a game that every single person at that table had a chance to win or had a chance to do their thing, instead of holding down the fort and trying to do your thing. And, you know, it's all, there's still puzzle. I'm not ripping CDH. It's still a very big puzzle. You have to be very knowledgeable about what everybody else is probably going to play. Whereas EDH, it's more of, hey, they're doing their thing. Oh, what are they about? Oh, it's fucking scary. We better get rid of that. Oh, let's do this. Let's work together, blah, blah, blah. Whereas CDH, I feel like you're on your own and trying to control everything and trying to predict what is going to be played next. And very high power, get the games done, you know.
Say what CEDH is going to do, because number one, we don't do it for those reasons that you pointed out. But number two, there's nobody in our group that's like, hey, let's play CEDH. So like us building or gearing towards CEDH is just going to hurt our play style and group, and make it not as fun. And so if anything, in our Magic life, we are going more and more casual versus more and more competitive. And so that's where I at least am slowly drifting that way more and more.
Right. And
and Adam's just winning more and more games that way.
Oh yeah,
So-
my one game during your birthday, that was so much fun. I'm just kidding. No, but I will say, like, where we are as, and this is just our personal preference, and I'm sure you feel a very similar way, but I enjoy the games we play now.
Right.
When we were playing with our group in the early stages where everybody was building the most tuned deck that they could, we had tutors galore, counterspell, all that stuff was in our decks trying to get your combo to go off. There are nights a lot of nights when I got done, I'd go up and, go to bed, and Cindy's like, how did everything go? I was like, fucking this and fucking that, like, just pissed. I was more mad than having fun. Now it's like, oh, like, Cindy, how does it go? I very, very, very rarely go in pissed. It's always like, oh, there was this cool game that did this and this one with this long. The only times I get pissed is like when I do something stupid. It's like, oh, I fucking did this dumb thing, So that's just our play style. I think that's just where we've evolved. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. Everybody's different and what their goals are in Commander. So,
right. So, and to finalize the idea for me though is we aren't looking through a lens of CEDH, and it's much more of like high power 3.
Yeah,
that's kind of the lens we look through. And so when you're on a different level, you can definitely be seeing more of a problem in those things, like from where we're at. So I'd say you start this one.
Okay.
Right?
Well, I mean, I'm just going to use our face, the things I use for the thumbnail. So right off the bat, I guess I didn't explain my side of it.
Yeah. Okay.
You did a very good explanation, so I'm not going to go very long with it. But I basically did, when these cards come out, they typically win the game or put you so far ahead that you end up winning the game. Like our stuff that's on the list that already is on there is like Cyclonic Rift. 9 times out of 10 when you play Cyclonic Rift, you pretty much should win the game. If you aren't, then you're playing it to play it, Yeah. So I guess so that's how I looked at a lot of these. The same thing that you said. These are very highly used cards, but then also when they're played, a lot of times that person's winning. And so just right off the bat, so we'll just start with the first one that I had on our thumbnail there, but it's Torment of Hailfire. Pretty much, you get this in your hand. If this is, I love this card. Don't get me wrong, I love this card, but you get this in your opening hand or early game hand. Your game plan is to get to that point to use this because
you're just ramping.
Yes, you're just like, okay, wait until towards the end when it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to get another turn. And this can a lot of times win you the game. It's going to maybe eliminate players. It's going to get people so far down or eliminate all their stuff. And it does not affect you at all. So this is, in my opinion, kind of, not quite. It's not as good, but Cyclonic Rift, it's like the black Cyclonic Rift. And it's not because they're having to sacrifice and all that stuff. But it's doing so much. It's the 3 life. It's the permanence. It's all this. Like, there's so much that go into this. And most of the time when I see a person play this, if they play it late game, they're probably the winner. If they play it middle game, I've seen you play this where you're just trying to get the board under control. And it isn't like a game winner. It's more of, I need to get caught up. And that can definitely be used that way. But most of the time when this gets played out, it's towards the end of the game. And it's the thing that wins the game. So...
and that's where, like, in my explanation, I definitely looked at this and like was writing it down, and then I was like, I kind of look at this as a game winner, and I totally get it. Like, this is used a ton, and I agree with you having it on the list. It's almost like a different category for me, as in it's a game winner,
right?
And those can definitely go on this list because when when you play it. Almost really any point in the game, as long as you're hitting for like 4+ on that X,
you're
it's
doing
like
something.
A 6-mana sorcery. You're just gonna pull so far ahead in that game.
And I guess that's the other thing is, one little angle is if one card not needing help from other cards can do so much, not damage, but affect the game so much. That's also why I kind of got it on there. Like, this doesn't need you to have something else in play for it to work. Yes, you need the lands. You need to be able to have the mana, but you if you built a good deck, I would say
I would just say build a better deck.
then you should be able to hit this by mid-late game and do a lot of damage. So that's why this one, it might be one of my top spots, but maybe not. But yeah. So this one's there because it typically does a lot. So, Larry, should we do your number, the one that's on the thumbnail?
Yep, let's do it. It's going to be Seedborn Muse. I've been a big fan of this one forever, especially after the bannings of the similar stuff. But it's when you're untapping all of your permanents during each other player's untap step. This is, this might be wild, but I feel like this is just an extra turn during everybody else's turn. Like if you have anything to do, if you have, extra like abilities on your lands, if you have, it gives your creatures pseudo vigilance. It's allowing them to tap for something each other on every other turn. It's like playing more turns.
It's just silly.
And it seriously is. If people don't deal with this, you are just so far ahead in the game.
So I don't have this in a ton of decks, but it is in my Fellothar deck, the one that I just built, and goldfish in it. If this is out, I win the game because Fellothar then untaps. I can do that on other people's turns. I'm able to sacrifice more walls, draw a shit ton more cards. Like, the fact is like, it would still be a good card if it said untap all your lands during each other player's up tap, or untap all your creatures during other, but the fact that it hits all permanents is just, it's just crazy.
Right.
Yeah. So this one was also on my list.
This is it. Sometimes these types of cards are really good with a certain thing going on, and this is just good in any deck. It's very much, in my opinion, like a Sensei's Divining Top. I have it in a ton of my decks just because it allows me to do something that I want to do just more often.
Right.
That's how I look at this card, and again, it feels like extra turns.
And if they hadn't printed it like crazy in the last 2 years, this card would be like $20-$30 where it was for a while there, but because they've been printing it a lot, which is good because it's a good card. It's a fantastic card. But yeah, I guess the reason why it doesn't always make my decks is like my commander has to have a tap ability for me to want to use it, but that doesn't make but that's just my way of doing it. I'm like, well, I want my commander on tap to be able to do it. But like you said, you can use this as pseudo vigilance. You're attacking in, and then boom, all your stuff on taps,
And if you have any sort of control style of deck, or where you're relying on instants a whole ton, you always have mana open to interact with you don't have to worry about, do I wait on something, or you just have the mana. You can just tap out every turn basically and just control the board. Like in my Riku deck, I just continually get more spells because I can exile off the top. If you're drawing enough cards, like, it's good in every situation. And when it comes down, it's gonna win you game.
I can see that.
So
I like that one a lot. Okay, what do I want to go with next? So I know you mentioned the Craterhoof stuff, but I kind of wanted that as I want this one as a package though. Because I want to include Triumph of the Hordes, Craterhoof Behemoth, and Finale of Devastation as 3 that
that's
do
where
this.
you want this?
I don't know. I mean, because I feel like they Triumph.
Choose one. You only get one.
You get one.
No, you can say the overrun effect. Essentially, that's what it is, right?
Yeah, and I think Triumph might be. I don't know, because they each do a little. Triumph makes it easier because you don't have to kill everybody's life because you're doing with poison counters. Gives the 1+1 trample and infect. But man, Finale.
Interesting. You're choosing this one though.
Well, I don't know.
I'm just being a dick
because it's poison. No, because
the thing
is
I have reasons why I would put this at 3 out of the 3 that you listed.
Well, what I was gonna say is Finale is probably the one that, because it's about the same cost as the Craterhoof. Wait, no, you need to hit 10. Is that how Finales works?
Yeah, X has to be 10 or more to.
And Craterhoof is 8, right? So you're 4 off. what I was going to say with Finale of Devastation is you just need to hit any creature. It doesn't matter. And then it does the Crater Hoof thing. You know, that's why I was like, this one's just silly because it doesn't need to be, you don't need to get the Crater Hoof. And the other thing is you can go get the Crater Hoof. If your Crater Hoof is in your graveyard, you can get it there. You can get it, like the Finale feels like the most powerful of them, but it is a lot. I mean, that's 12 mana to win you the game. But again, this is kind of how the angle I was doing is the two things that I've been talking about are like cards that typically win the game. Like you see this and it's like game over. Crater Hoof, game over. I haven't seen Finale been played as often, but I would assume when this gets played, game over, you know? So what would you rank the three? How would you most powerful to least powerful?
I would probably go Finale first, then
Crater Hoof.
Crater Hoof. But the reason why I would put Triumph on the bottom there is because if you don't kill everybody or anybody, it was a wasted card.
Well, then don't play it.
right. But I mean, like if you're like, you know, like if you're not in a poison deck and you try to poison somebody out and they're able to just like
jump block.
I block 3 more poison and I don't die.
Right.
That poison does nothing for you the rest of the game.
That's a good point, because then you're not going to be able to do it unless you can get that spell back in.
Right. So you have to kill them with it. To whereas like Crater Hoof Behemoth, you can just like, I don't want to kill everybody, but I want to get them down to like 10.
Yeah.
And then you can, and that progresses the game. Whereas like Finale or Triumph needs to almost be a game winner when you're casting that. Or like I'm casting it and I am knocking you out. I'm going all out. It's over the top. So that's where I'd put it. It's probably that's 3 for me.
Yeah.
And a tutor's almost always better.
Right. Because searching, and then the crazy thing is
you could always get a boat, and you know how we've always wanted a boat. Like,
I can't even bring a boat. You know what we wanted one of these. Well, let's get that. We'll get the boat. We'll get the box. All right. But the cool thing is this one also pulls from the graveyard too. So it's a crazy thing. So I don't know. Did you have any? I know you mentioned that you weren't going to put those on, so you probably didn't have them on. Okay. So what would be your next one that you would add to the game changer list?
Let's take a look at this.
And I will say while you're thinking here is like Crater Hoof used to be my go-to, right? And Triumph was also normally went hand in hand. It was Triumph and Crater Hoof. When Finale of Devastation came out, that was about the time I was starting to wean myself away from Crater Hoof. 1, because you made fun of me so much, but 2, I just, you know, the games I was winning, a lot of times it was the Crater Hoof was the way it won. It was like, oh, how'd you win that game? Oh, Crater Hoof Behemoth. How'd you win that game? Crater Hoof Behemoth. And that's kind of the same idea as what I was saying with Cyclonic. It's like, how did you win? Well, before I killed everybody, I Cyclonic Rifted everybody, and then I was able to wipe blah, 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 blah. So that's why I kind of... Crater Hoof feels like Cyclonic to me, but in like the green version in a way.
Yeah. No, I totally get that.
So, okay, what would you do for your second one?
You know what? I feel like I'm seeing this more and more, and it's a huge beater. And so I question... I don't know if I would put this on the list, but I do think it could deserve it. But I'm going to go Void Winnower.
I was thinking about that one.
When that comes down...
Yeah, it's very oppressive.
It's oppressive, but also everybody's just going, wait, what can't I do? And then you're like looking at the cards in your hand. You're like, okay, those become nothing. I can't cast that. I can't block with these. It just like completely changes the game. I think it's a good CMC. I think it's good where it's at. Like, I don't hate it, but like when it does come down, everybody goes, how are we dealing with this?
Yeah.
And it's very much like a Rhystic Studies Smothering Tithe feel to it, whereas like they always have to check what they're doing. Can I do this? Is this stopping me from, can I attack with my even? Yeah. Oh, I guess I did. Like, but I can't block, right? Okay. You're always checking on what you're trying to do because it's just like it does so much and it just warps the game around it. And if you can protect it, and it's just a beater too.
Yeah.
Right? Not many things are going to beat it from 11 to, as 11-9, and all those even CMC creatures can't block it. So like, how many creatures do you actually have to deal with?
And then those removal spells a lot of times are even.
Right.
It's like,
so it's great. It does feel like a game changing card.
It does
to me,
though,
and I'm seeing it more and more.
It does feel like when it hits, like you're saying, that it is a table working together to try to get rid of it as soon as possible.
Right.
Because it ends up fucking people over pretty bad. Yeah.
It feels how about this? It feels very much like it's not on Vorinclex's level of like doubling mana versus taking away mana. But it's like taking away your hand, taking away half your board state, and it just like takes away half of what you've done in the game and can do in the future. And so that's definitely how it feels to me. And they don't gain anything, but they don't lose anything either, the owner of it.
Yeah.
And so it just feels like such a huge swing of resources.
Yep, I can see that. All right. I'm trying to decide what I want to do here. Do I want to do an old school one, a new school one? You know, I have it starred, so I might as well do it. So I'm gonna do one, and this you might not agree with, but this one is always doing shit when it comes out, and it's doubling season. Doubling season, we have similar cards that do one part of this card that are the same CMC. And this thing, like you go to Primal Vigor and it does similar things, but then also gives it to your opponents, where this is the same CMC, but you're doubling all tokens, all counters, all that fun stuff. It gives you the double, you know, your planeswalkers come in, you ultimate right away because they're doubling all that fun stuff. It's just doubling season. When this comes out, the player that is playing it is not playing a deck that isn't dealing with counters or, you know, some form of counters. So they're about to do some crazy shit. So this is always my setup thing. If I have it in my hand, and I play this one a lot, you know, 1/1 counters are pretty popular and tokens are really popular. This is a setup card. When you see this come out, for any player, that player should be hit or that needs to be removed because they're about to do nasty things on their next turn if they aren't doing it that turn. I just, more often than not, this changes. And
I'm going
to
stop, and that's why I wouldn't put this on the game changer list of, as in, next turn you just wait.
Well, that's if you're getting it at turn 5.
And it builds so quick. I totally agree, but it feels like it's hard for me to say I'm going to take this turn off, but next turn you're in trouble. To put it on a game changer list, if that makes sense.
You're saying you want it to happen right away, but then
for being a game changer, like anything, if somebody tries to deal with heuristic study, they're going to draw a card likely, and it's warping the game.
It's funny because I was
also this doesn't go in every deck like everything that we've been talking about,
right.
where it is very specific to counters. So.
But this is
probably doesn't show up as much. It probably shows up in every deck that it possibly can.
Every counter deck basically has this.
Yeah.
And the thing is what I've been, I like feel bad playing it sometimes with the counter decks, you know? So I'm like, I'm going to try to hit the other ones, you know, if I can. But I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's the best of those counter decks. If anything with tokens and counters, it's the best one out there. You know, like all the other ones have one part of this. This has everything. Like, and I guess the closest thing to it would be the Vorinclex, in my opinion. Like, that's the best, the second best of these. I mean, there's a reason why the Anointed Processions and all of those are $40. You know, even the new Elspeth is already $40 plus. Because making double tokens is insane. And yes, if you get this turn 5 if you get a turn 5, you're not even you're mid game at that point, you know. So it's like it's about to happen, you know. If you get this and then do something, it's pretty much done. So I mean, it just when I see doubling season hit the table, to me, if it's me doing it, it is like, oh shit, I can't wait for this to go off. But when I see other people, it's like, oh shit, how do we get rid of that or that player before they do their thing, you know? So that's kind of where I see with that one. But I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. It's
very powerful
that it doesn't do it immediately is what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's not like
and yeah. So that's kind of where I agree with you. Super powerful, and if it's left around, it's an engine of its own. So it's just like I don't put this in every token deck because oftentimes when I'm doing a token deck, like I would rather just have parallel lives because it's so specific.
Well, that's what I was saying is like,
But if this is in every, like if I have a Walker deck that this could be in, it's in that.
yeah.
And
That's
if,
right.
If it's a +1/+1 counter deck, like it's inefficient compared to like a Hardened Scales and a lot of creatures that'll add the tokens, but it also depends on what kind of 1/1 counter deck it is for me too. Like if it's just like doing one per, then I'm like, this isn't doing a lot. But if I'm like, it comes into play with 4 1/1 counters, then I'm like, doubling season's way better than the other thing.
And
so
that's what I was going to say is I've been not handcuffing, but purposely like not just shoving it in any deck that has that. So it's similar what you're saying there is like, okay, if it's a deck that's only putting 1/1 count, because I don't think I have this in my Hackball deck. I'm not positive.
Yeah, I don't think that would,
because it's only
I agree.
Putting one counter on each thing. So like you were saying there, I only need the cards that say when you put a counter on, put an additional counter, not put
it's
double
so much
the
more
amount.
efficient in that regard.
And they're like cheaper, and then So all right, what would be your third card?
Third one. All right, where are we? So I'm also trying to like, I know when the initial list of game changers came out, we were kind of we were surprised that like Defurious Protection wasn't on that because it's just so good. Or Heroic Intervention and stuff like that. So I do think that things
protection stuff. It doesn't seem like they hit that kind of thing,
Right. Like, so then it's like, well, we don't want to add stuff in there. And as long as it's not super overpowering on the board, like it's not as bad. I have a couple that I'm looking at, and that's when it's nice to you and not annoying. So like how bad it can be. I think if as land hate becomes more and more prevalent as we're going to be moving forward, and this is how I see it, right? I see there's a space for Armageddon to happen, and that's going to seep into the lower levels. And so maybe there's a projection, but I think Blood Moon.
I was wondering if that would get
and back to basics.
I was gonna say
I'm
all
gonna
those?
go Blood Moon
Okay.
on this. When that drops, and you're in a higher powered game where everybody's running duels and stuff like that, like this is the card that I think we're going to actually be needing to worry about more and more. And maybe even back to basics is maybe worse because you just don't even get that mana.
Yeah.
But I think Blood Moon is probably more popular because of the modern archetype and stuff like that. But Blood Moon is going it unless you're one or two colors against that, it's going to hurt you dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a game changer. If you don't have removal in your hand, you're probably going to lose that game unless you have a really good board presence. And then it was probably just drawn too late. But if you have a Blood Moon in hand, you're probably dropping that turn 3 as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to very much change the game. Now, I mean, like, I don't think it's on Armageddon's level. You know what I mean? It's not as brutal as all those cards that just mass land remove. But at the same time, I think, and again, this is a little bit of a projection, but I think we're just going to start seeing it more and more as it becomes more acceptable to mess with people's lands. Because before it was like, no. You know what I mean? Any sort of land removal is not happy. Nobody's happy about that. Whereas, like, I think it's going to become more and more acceptable to have happen.
I will say, because I did look at this one too, but I didn't put it on my list. The one reason why I didn't is like the decks that I do have this in, they're monocolored, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But even in those monocolored decks, you have utility lands. So it's like, it's hard to get away from like you're saying, it's becoming more and more you don't use basics as there's so many utility lands. But it's hard to even in a monocolored deck to not play basics, you know, like play. So I think you're right. When it hits, it affects.
Do you think it regulates itself then?
In that,
as in, like, I don't want to put it in all my red decks because it's going to hurt my land base.
No, because I do.
Because you do it anyway.
Well, because it's like it's going to hurt me. But Blood Moon's not even going to hurt a red deck. You know, it's just going to turn my utility lands into red. But back to basics can hurt a blue deck. But it's only going to hurt like 2 of mine probably in play. And it's going to hurt a lot more people than it's going to hurt me. So, yeah, monocolor, those are my way of, like, if I'm behind putting those in there, you know, boom. And you should. I mean, if you're playing monocolor, you're limited to what your tools are to use for your deck. So that, in my head, that's my justification of using these. Because I'm like, well, I don't have as many tools because I don't have...
You're monocolored.
Yeah. So I'm going to hinder you down a little bit. And it does. It becomes a thing that people have to try to work to get rid of. So that I think it's a good call.
And that's kind of how I was thinking about it. Like, as in, like, if it's played more, because every time it's been dropped against me and you, it's a god damn it.
Yeah.
And it really sets us back.
Abukaki's on. I do have to mention, Snoop asked, are we expecting something tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow we're probably going to see unbans. That's most likely what we're seeing tomorrow.
That's what we're expecting.
I would not expect what we're talking about today, but it felt like it was a nice little topic to talk about here, because I think eventually things will get added in. And then Abukaki called us butt sluts. So, hey. And he loves these kind of cards. He was the
he's the last one that Back to Basics is his baby right now.
Well, because I did it against him, and then he multiplied it and added another one, and that was two times ago when we played. So I think it's a good one, Lau. This one crossed my list when I was looking, and I was like, no, I play this one. I don't want to add it to the list.
But I mean, like, again, game changers aren't like terrible things. It's just like
good cards.
It can be really problematic if they're played a lot.
Yeah.
And so, but I think this card is ever bannable? No. Like, it's not on the level of Armageddon, but much like where my stuff is, it's not on a level of something that is banned or highly hated, but it's like that step down where it's like, if it's the replacement card and it's being played a ton, this again can be really annoying, or like it warps a game when it comes down for us. And that's kind of what I was trying to think of for Blood Moon.
Got it. All right. Well, again, all these cards that we talk about, I don't think any of them should be on the list, but just we're doing it here. So I'm going to add, and this one got talked about way back, and I still don't think it's played that much because it's a Planeswalker. But I'm going to talk about Oko, because Oko. Which one?
I thought you were going to go with a different.
I have that one on my list too.
Is it? All right. That one's on my list, so
okay.
I'm not going to do it. But,
you can hit it up. But
Oko, I'm going to.
Oko, Thief of Crowns. The only reason why it's used quite a bit, but not a crazy ton. But didn't it get used at your house? Didn't something get turned into an elk? I thought it was somebody did it in one of your games. But target artifact or creature loses all abilities and becomes an elk creature with base power 3/3. So along the Drannith Magistrate thought, where Drannith, the problem with Drannith is then you can't play your commander from the command zone because it has to be played from your hand and all that fun stuff. This kind of does a messing with the commander stuff. When you can't do stuff with your commander, and the thing is we do have other cards that do this. You know, we have the Imprisoned in the Moon kind of thing, and I heard a pop. Oh, everything's good. You can still hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. It was like, I'm so sensitive to that pop noise, because I'm like, if it pops, it means I don't have any sound or anything. But this one it neuters a commander, and it's the only way you're getting rid of it to get your commander back is you either gotta attack and have somebody kill it, or you're blocking and have it killed. You know, so the not being able to go to your command zone kind of sucks. I don't think it's bannable at all, like you said too, with all this stuff.
No.
None of this stuff is bannable. It's a nice hoop to try to jump through, but to make it so you lose your commander and you can't do anything about it, it isn't moving to command zones or whatever. I think these can be tough, and it's only 3 to come out, so it's not that hard for this. I'm surprised it's not played more, honestly.
Right, and that would be my thought too. Is just like, I think it needs to be played more. It's also that like Blood Moon thing. Like, I think it would need to be played a lot more to make it to the game changer zone.
Yeah, danger zone. It's the game changer zone.
Danger zone. Yeah. So that's. I see what you're saying, and those cards can be really good. And Prison in the Moon, Lingify, those kind of cards are good.
Yeah.
So that, and when you can repeat it and
I think
build
this
stuff up, you can really change things.
I think this dude's still in 40,000 EDH rec decks or something like that. But so it's used, but it's Planeswalker. So, but the thing is you don't care if Oko dies. I mean, you do, because okay. So one more thing I want to add to it is a plus ability. So it's not like you're draining this down and you can't do it the next turn. If you're able to keep Oko alive, you're just wiping out commander after commander. So it's not this.
Right.
If you have the defense, this just can control the game and no one has stuff anymore. So it'd be different if this was like a -3 ability. Then it's like, okay, I got to build up 3 more turns, 2 turns to get it so I can use the ability. No, you do it the next turn and the next turn and the next turn. It just keeps going up. So
And it makes it stronger and stronger and stronger until
so
you're trying to deal with it. So
all right,
and it's not just the commander either. It's just the best card on the board.
yeah, because it says artifact or creature. So if there's an artifact that's causing problems, turn it into an elf. So, all right, Lowry, what is your 4th one you might add to the list?
Okay, so I'm gonna go with like something that I think legitimately could be on a game changer board. Necropotence.
I looked at that one too. Didn't put it on my list, but I looked at that one too.
So essentially, when you can pay life incrementally and then get those cards into your hand, like every time you pay a life at the end of the turn, you're drawing, or because it doesn't have the draw triggers, you do have a modern Horizons 3 kind of duplicate of it, but it reduces your hand size, and that does have a draw trigger. To whereas like this doesn't have a draw trigger, but this card can load up your goddamn hand and just, I mean, it's just really good. You get to sculpt your hand. You can have as many cards in your, if you have your Reliquary Tower type cards in there, this should be in basically every black deck, even if you're playing 3 colors. It's one of those cards that I basically avoid. It feels like a Ristic Study level to me, to where I was like, oh, I'm down to 3 cards. And then if you're playing it fair, you just go, I'm down to 3 cards at end of turn, I pay 4 life and go to 7 cards in hand. You can always just have 7 cards in hand. This is better than Sylvan Library. This is, I mean, it's harder to cast. Like, so that 3 black mana does really hold it back.
Yeah.
But it's just when it does come down, it's that power.
Uh-oh. Did I lose? Is Lowry frozen? Shit. So now it's on my side. Lowry's frozen. He's in a... Oh, there he is. He's back. Lowry, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I could hear you the whole time. Could you hear me?
I can hear you now. You were stuck in a mouth of the microphone pose like this.
Yeah. That's how I like to eat my microphones. But basically, when it does come down, I think it really just changes the game. Very much like a Ristic Study. It's a more controllable Ristic Study.
Gotcha. I wanted your pause there, and then when you came back, you just sounded so defeated because you're tired. You're just like, fuck.
Yeah, the card is so powerful it froze me. I like that one, Snoop. And I think the other thing too is that I lost it. Never mind. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Got it. Came back and forth real quick. But every variation of this card just gets banned.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so, like Grizzlebrand, you have Yawgmoth's Bargain. You have like just so many versions of this card. They're just banned. because they're too good. And I don't know why they keep this one around, but this is a really goddamn good card.
I dig it. All right. My last one, I'm actually not going to do the one that we were kind of hinting at before. I'm going to do a new school one because it's so expensive at this point because it's so good. It gets used so much and it needs to catch a reprint, but does it because it's that fucking good. But it's Shieldred, man.
On my list as well.
Yeah, Shieldred, the Apocalypse is just when I play this. Come on. All right, I just can't spell Shieldred. Oldred.
She old red.
There she is. Again, this is in my Fellow Thar deck. There's a lot of THs in there. But the thing with that deck is I'm going to be drawing a lot. So my point of having it in there was more of I'm going to draw a shit ton of cards and my life is going to change. I don't have everybody draw cards, but that's where you can abuse the crap out of this is wheel effects. You have this. And even if you're not doing wheel effects, if you built a good commander deck,
I would just say build a better deck.
You want to have lots of draw in your deck so you can get more cards, so you can play more things. Naturally, as a player and playing the game, you're going to damage yourself. If you were losing 1 life, then this one wouldn't feel so bad. But 2 life,
Two's a lot.
Yeah, you're drawing 3 cards, losing 6 life, and that's just self-damage. If I abuse it by doing the wheel effects or making people draw, this card just gets bonkers. It's only 4 for that, for a 4/5 death touch that does all this fun stuff.
And Mr. Hockey's bringing up like it's an instant kill that player, but me and him both scooped a guy the last time, like when we were playing at your place. Guy was able to cast this and the Sphinx's Insight that basically you shuffle in your hand and draw that many cards. So that was going to happen every upkeep, and we're just like,
screw that.
I don't think I've ever conceded like that. I was just like, no, this game's fucking over. Like it just was over. There was no shot.
Yeah. This one just so many parts about this that they could have made it more fair, but it being a 4 casting cost, maybe making the life loss 1 life, like maybe keeping
the death touch isn't amazing on it. Right? Well, it's like that's the worst thing about it is that it's a 4 or 5 death touch.
Right, exactly. The death touch. But the 4 drop and all the things that it does, it's just silly. So this is a new one, but the sucker cheapest version is $75 because where are they gonna reprint this?
It's a legitimate game changer. This one can be put on that list for sure.
Yep. So, all right, Lowry, what is gonna be your last pick?
You know what? It was between this one and the other one that is also highly effective in a commander game because we rely on ETBs so much. But I'm gonna go Elish Norn, Mother of Machines.
Interesting.
Everybody likes Panharmonicon is a great card for us.
Yes.
But when you turn around and you shut off everybody else's ETBs at the same time, the card is crazy. Like people, I think, have calmed down on it, and I do think it has self-regulated itself much better than Shieldred has. But this card was going to be banned the first couple months of it existing, just because everybody's like, this sucks. This sucks to play with. I think they even started out with, we got our eye on this card when it was printed.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
If I'm remembering right,
you might be right.
I'm pretty sure they're like, this is on our short, keep an eye on type card.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I think it's calmed down. I think it has self-regulated, and I think that's good in that regard. But I do think it deserves to be on the game changer list just because of how many decks rely on ETB triggers. All right, so Hockey's agreeing with both of us on those.
He was just saying mom is also a problem.
His mom is a wonderful lady, all right? She is not a problem by any means.
We did not have Snoops asking if we had Phyrexian Altar. I did see it when I was going through my list, but it didn't trigger for me to write it down as...
I think it's that would be
It's a-
getting into something of like
a specific
what
type
are
of deck.
parts of combos that you would want to start. And so, like, do we want to talk about shit? What's the blue merfolk that ETBs and can win you the game?
Thassa's Oracle.
Yeah. Do we want to start talking about Thassa's Oracle? Because there are a couple of combo pieces that are highly played that's on the game changer list, like Ad Nauseam.
But Thassa's
like
is
that.
on the game changer list.
What is?
Thassa's is.
Is it? Well, okay.
But you're saying in general though.
In general, is
Or
that what we want to be going?
Yeah. That could
for?
be another.
So like
segment.
Phyrexian Altar and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
so I think we have some solid ones. Phyrexian Arena or Altar could be discussed, I think, because it is problematic, and that Saproling guy, like, it combos with a lot of commanders.
Slimefoot.
Yeah, Slimefoot. It's just it's a really, really good card for sure.
Well, yeah,
and I guess if we
that-
want to talk about this at all, about the self-regulation and how we don't see it a whole ton, but like Static Orb, Stasis, like if they get to be played a lot, those become game changers pretty quick, right?
Right.
But they're just not played a lot because they suck to play against, much like Armageddon.
Right.
So,
and I think because they don't say only opponents, like if it only affected opponents, you probably see those more because people are dicks.
yeah. Yep. I mean, you would probably get hated out of a game pretty quick. Once they look at you as that type of player, then you just got yourself out of games.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, people are just be like, oh, you're the fucking tap down player. Nobody like, I'll just go after you until you're gone.
Right. And you won't have fun anymore. All right. So that is our list. We want to hear what your guys' ads would be. So we already got one right there with Phyrexian Altar from Snoop. If there's other ones you guys think should be added onto the list, please put that in the comments below, because I want to see if it matches any of the other ones. Because I still had, 1, 2, 3, 4. I almost went the counterspell package of Force of Negation and Mana Drain, but I didn't.
Right.
But there's quite a few in here that we could have added in there. Like,
do you want to quick list off what you have?
So the one we were kind of hinting at was that Narset that you were thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
No, it wasn't actually.
Or was it Karn?
Teferi.
Oh, which Teferi?
The loot and phasing and extra turns.
Yeah, but we don't see that often, except for us playing it. But I agree, that one is really good. But for some reason,
I feel like when that one comes down, it changes the game. Everybody goes, "We got to get rid of that."
Right. But it normally doesn't stay, because people go after it.
Because everybody gets aggressive.
Yeah, they have to kill it. Yeah. He did write Mystic Remora. I wrote Mystic Remora, but I don't. With the cumulative upkeep with that and being specific on the things, like, it goes away after a while. A lot of times people play at turn 1 and then they only draw like 1 or 2 cards off of it. I had Great Henge as a potential, because whenever Great Henge gets in,
Rift is on the game changer list. Hockey.
Yeah.
So.
But Great Henge, whenever that gets out, it's normally people try to remove that as soon as possible.
That was on my list as well.
I have, and this is one of my favorites, but I have a Chroma's Will in here, but that was more of it wins games a lot of times.
Right. But one that I would have thought that was on your list, because you were so high on it for a while there, but it's Holly Primal Storm.
I actually thought about, the funny thing is I actually thought about putting that on the list just to pick it and be like, it's so good. It's so good. The couple others I had
and then you just made me the asshole. All right.
I had Old Gnawbone and then Defense of the Heart. Oh, and I had one that you really hate, and I played it over when I had my Black Panther deck, but Cathara's Crusade. But again, that works with, it has to be in that type of deck. It doesn't just go in every deck. It has to be in, you're playing a lot of creatures and all that stuff. What about you? What do you have that we didn't talk
I
about?
have 6 more that I was kind of considering along the lines, but Aetherflux Reservoir could be something, because like it feels like you play it, probably I see you play it the most, and it feels like it always just keeps you in the game, and if you're about to die, you're able to come back from it, and then it just can win the game. Consecrated Sphinx kind of puts you far ahead. in the draw game. Lightsteel Colossus is kind of an old school
right.
one,
And
but
I
like
don't see that as much anymore, but that used to be the thing.
right,
Yeah.
right. But it still feels it's hard to
Right.
remove. You can one shot people like that. That's there. Toxrill the Corrosive. I have never heard. That's the slug one that
Yeah.
-1/-1s. I've never heard anybody say a good thing about it. It's always an awful game.
I just got my first one by getting the SpongeBob one.
A
That's my first
SpongeBob
one.
version.
Yeah.
So you got
a
a smiling slug that
Right.
fucking everybody's gonna
That's
hate.
Gary. He's nice. He's all good.
I was wondering if Orcish Bowmasters
I-
is there. Like it's just played a whole ton.
It
But
is.
I don't know if it's like over the top.
I don't think it is in Commander as much as you would think it would be. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it is good.
And then the last one would be Mana Drain. And I
yeah, isn't that what I had? Yeah, I had Force and Negation and Mana Drain.
oh that was
Yeah,
you. Okay, yeah. So those were kind of the ones where I was like potentially there. Lightsteel Colossus. If we were having this discussion 7 years
I was
ago,
gonna say yeah,
would be
beginning
on
of
that
the
list.
yeah for sure. I think that was one of
And
our.
same thing with Consecrated Sphinx. Like those two, that's old school.
I did see it get played at your house. I don't think you were in that game, but Tad had it out, and yeah, he was drawing 2 cards per draw of everybody going around the table. So
it gets wild.
yeah, Snoop. Mana Drain and Force and Negation. I thought that's where I was gonna go, but then once we had the couple openings at the end, I was like, those are boring. They already have a bunch of counters on it, and so I was like, I know we hate counters, but we'll stay away from that. So, but yeah, we want to hear more.
It's funny because it's basically Blue's best ramp card.
Right. It's really good. Get those.
It's really good.
It's really good.
So
all right, guys.
I like what we have. I think we have a couple of weak spots.
Are you just pointing
Mostly
at my
your
cards?
list, but I think
we both, you pointing at my cards is what you're saying?
No.
Douche canoe.
I think I fully admit that Void Winnower and Blood Moon are questionable.
No, they're impressive stuff, man. They're impressive.
I mean, but again, are they on a list that's like Shieldred or Elish Norn or Torment of Hellfire? Like those, I think your first two are legitimate. When they're game winners, I do think it could be there. I just was skipping them, so I was just like, probably right.
I get, we're kind of done with the segment, anyways. But what I was gonna say is like, a lot of it is cards that I've been phasing away from. For me, the reason I was phasing away from is because they were used so much and they ended up winning the game, and so that's why Torment made it. That's why Triumph, Craterhoof. I haven't played Finale. So those are the reasons why those, I started. So it was like a mix of how I was kind of going about it.
I think that's a good way to look at it because again, we've talked about like Smothering Tithe and Ristic Study that are on the game changer list, and when you're going like, okay, do I need this in the deck, or is this something that I can leave off just so that I'm not seeing this so goddamn much?
And that's what I did.
Yeah.
One of my last cuts from Felithar was Smothering Tithe because I was like,
Yep.
I have enough mana with all my stuff. I don't need this in here. Yes, it'd be great to have it, but I don't need it because I have enough other things. So if you can figure out other things, it's just, we're trying to get rid of those big, bad, staple, not oppressive, just the game changers. What? That's the name of this.
Ever present. Like when you just see them so much that games start to feel the same, that becomes kind of boring. But you want your deck to work, and if you need it, you kind of need it.
Right.
You just got to self-regulate yourself to know if you need it or not.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the last segment of something that we have not done for a very long. Where did Lowry go? He disappeared. Oh, you know what? Guess what? Lowry's camera. We didn't check this one.
No, we didn't. What's going on?
Well, because I'm on the
you
new
gotta size me.
computer. We have not done. So you guys are going to see this all in.
Hello.
Let's see. I gotta remember. I gotta remember how.
What's the hand from Adam's Family?
Lowry's about to be a huge thing. There's Lowry.
Thing?
He's taking up the whole screen.
Let's put a mug in front of that mug.
I haven't done this computer, or we haven't done Stump the Smith Savant since I got this new computer. So, all right, give me a sec. This is funny. All right, I think we're good. We'll keep it right about there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Let me get it at least so my OCD doesn't get all fucking fidgety with this. All right, I think that's good enough. Lowry's fine. You're fine. All right.
Thanks. I'm glad that you're okay the way I look.
Let's see. Let's hit
There's
it.
a reason I grew a beard.
We gotta hit this one because Lowry, I think you got stumped last time. It's time for everyone's favorite game show.
I know what it is. I just don't know the name. It's been so long ago. We don't even know. We're just starting over. I don't think you can play that button. Just willy-nilly like that.
I just did.
I'm not going to check. I don't think you get to do it.
If you guys don't know how this game works, I'm going to read the flavor text of a card, and Lowry's going to try to guess the card by asking yes or no questions. Every yes, he'll hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no, he'll hear this.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
He gets up to 5 wrong guesses before he's considered stumped. He gets 3 clues. If he gets everything about the card but can't get what the card name is, he'll get the initials of the card. If he still has a clue left over, he'll get a bonus clue, which should help give it away. This week's stumper is Red Squirrel. This is round 42, week 1. The first 3 weeks is a foil proxy, and right now it is the Darkwing Duck Clever Concealment and foil. If we get to the 3rd round, so every 3 weeks we add a card to the ante, we will give away the Ray Gavan in this fun, I always forget which multiverse, whatever it is. It's not multiverse, but you know. The nice orange.
I think it is.
Isn't multiverse, the orange framing, and that's from Tommy Olson. Your overall record is 111-42, and I think that's it. Oh, I've eliminated the chat. Chat can play along. We do have a timer of 20 minutes, so Lowry has a total of 20 minutes to try to guess this, and I think that's it. If I don't remember, if I add something later, we'll get it. But all right, let me get that timer up. Gotta go up to 20 minutes. And here we go. Let's get the what we're gonna be reading here. Flavor text. Boom. All right. If power stones are energy stored in material form, could we store matter as energy in the same way? Rain research notes. If power stones are energy stored in material form, could we store matter as energy in the same way? Rain research notes. Timer begins now.
Okay. So, Power Stones are from Dominaria. You have, like, Power Stone Shard from United. Or, no, just Dominaria in general. And then you have, like, Worn Power Stone, which is the classic mana rock back in the day. So I know this is on Dominaria. The question is it newer Dominaria or older Dominaria? And I don't know that. Rain is a character from older Dominaria, from Teleria. I want to say she was a wife of somebody. Her card's kind of cool, like draws you cards. Also that she's in blue, so that's and also research notes kind of puts it at probably a blue card. Question is this like a okay, let's go. Is this a permanent type card?
Hello, boobies.
Okay, so I mean it could be like an artifact. So colorless, blue. Anything else that I want to throw in there to like cut it in half? Maybe white. So is this colorless, blue, and or white?
Hello,
Color
boobies.
identity? Yeah.
Hello,
okay.
boobies.
Can you do it one more time? I can't quite.
Hello, boobies.
You motorboating son of a bitch.
Okay, so it's blue, white, and or colorless. We know it's a permanent spell. We let's get a first clue, please.
The art features a very special piece of jewelry. The art features a very special piece of jewelry.
If power stones are energy stored in material form, could we store matter as energy in the same way?
Snoop, it is more. You
Is
don't
it
know
a medallion? No, medallion was, I mean, those were Tempests, so, but like that's way before, or way after rain. Before? energy.
You're on the right track.
You talking to
Snoop.
me?
Nope, Snoop. Sorry, Snoop.
You son of a gun.
That'd be really bad. I'm like giving it away to you. You're like, hey, your thoughts are good. Adam, you haven't done this for a long time, so you forget how this game works.
I never really knew how the game worked. I just kind of guessed. Can you repeat the first question, please?
The art
Or
features a very special piece of jewelry.
Very special. Again, one more time.
The art features a very special piece of jewelry. And Snoop, yes. I like what Snoop's doing it. He's asking questions like you would be asking questions, so he's trying to narrow it down.
So he gets to hear my questions.
He's cheating.
Can you read me his questions just so I know?
Nope.
I think we're working together. This is a co-op mission right now. Okay. I don't know how much. So that is this an artifact?
Hello, boobies.
That's what Snoop's question was. How did you know, you cheater?
No, but I mean, you said it's a special piece of jewelry. So I'll take a second clue, please.
The text features a way to cheat big boys into play. The text features a way to cheat big boys into play.
Oh shit. Okay, I know what this is. What is it?
I know what it is. I just don't know the name.
Yeah. Somewhere in the name, it's amulet.
Hello, boobies.
Uh-oh.
This was reprinted
Red
in a
Squirrel.
core set as well.
Red Squirrel, we're in trouble.
Amulet of something. 4 mana, colorless.
Hello, boobies.
4 mana, tap.
Hello, boobies.
Okay.
Yes, it was. Sorry, I'm talking to
What?
Snoop. I'm talking to Snoop, sorry.
You're very chatty with Snoop tonight, all right?
He's trying to get it. Trying to get it before you. I think he has it too.
Amulet. There's an amulet of claws, and that's not right. That's like Ice Age with upkeeps and shit. Reserve list, by the way.
Fun fact.
No. Okay, so it's not. Okay, hold on. Q?
What?
Is it?
Start with a Q?
Mhm. No. Don't worry.
Yes, Snoop.
So
yes,
what do
Snoop.
I need to do to get the initials?
You didn't tell me what it does. You just said it taps for 4.
Yeah. Well,
What is the tap ability?
what's the second clue?
Well, the second clue is the text features a way to cheat big boys into play.
Yeah.
So what
You
is
just told me what it does.
Well, tell me what the that's. What does it do?
It cheats big boys into play.
That's I've never gone into my Scryfall advanced search and been like, cheat big boys in the play. How many cards do we have that show that?
How many
Zero.
cards options do I have to cheat big boys into play? You get Elvish Piper, you get Quicksilver Amulet, which is what it is.
Oh, damn it! You fucking god! How did you like? That's fucking fantastic. Like it just came because I almost was gonna give you like Elvish Piper. Like I was gonna do a funny joke with that, but is that what got it? Because then you were going down the list of the things that actually did it.
No, I said Q, and then I kind of took it back, and I was like, I'm not sure. Let me think about it a little bit more and just talk shit. Like I was really, really close.
Oh,
So
that was good. That was good. Because then when you said it, I was like, "Oh shit, is he gonna pass this up? Like he thinks it's something else? Like that's." Yeah.
Good shot, Red Squirrel. Though that's a good one. That's old school. That's been a long time.
Yeah, and Snoop almost had it. He was right there. His last one was like, "Is it amulet? Is actually in the name?" And then he's like, "Did it have a schematic art?" Which is what Red Squirrel wanted because the original. This is the one I would have loved to do. I don't know if you would have got it, but it was wonderful. Got a lion on your first try. Now put it back. Like, would that have triggered for you? Because it was first from Urza's Legacy.
Yes, because I don't think I didn't own one of these until the core.
I didn't own it until it
set
changed into this.
12.
Until 12. Yeah. But Urza's Legacy, I didn't even realize this until I was doing the clues that this existed there. I was like, I like this.
Well,
art.
yeah, like it was a $10+ card back when $10+ cards were
Really
rare.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When money meant something.
It means
This
nothing.
is basically a story of I used to buy a loaf of bread for 25 cents when I was a kid.
Now we're sounding old.
I know. But yeah, that was a this was I think right when the Commander sets came out. This was a card that everybody wanted to put into Kalia as like a backup.
Oh, that's the most deck that it's used in is Kalia. Yep, that's exactly it. And it's in 34,000 EDH rec decks and most used by Kalia. So
Yeah. So I mean, if you have like Selvala, like it's basically a backup to a commander that's trying to shit out big boys.
Yeah.
What did you say? Cheat big boys into play.
Yep, cheap big boys into play. I gotta make sure I
And
do
so
that
if
on
you,
my.
if you have a deck that's trying to do that, yeah, this is in there.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Red Squirrel, you can send signed copies to that. Oh, Larry, do you have the? We had signed copy. Oh no, you didn't get it yet.
What?
Or did I give it to you? Yeah, I mailed it.
I
to you.
got one. Yeah, I got the labyrinth.
Show that one off really quick. Because mine's on the wall. So when you lose, you can sign it, and it makes the wall. It makes my wall over there. Lowry ends up playing with his cards a lot of times. So
if I end up
people-
using the card, I try and fit it into a deck.
yeah. So
Unless it's like too pretty, because like, pretty sure Russ sent me the foil
oh
guy
yeah.
to reach Sanitarium because he heard that I like the card, and then
Yeah.
he's like, "Let's do this for Stomp." Like he's just too damn nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
and then I just look at it.
So yeah, you guys can send that to us, or sorry, Red Squirrel, you can send that to us. But we do need more people to enter, even though we haven't done it for a month and a half.
Basic land signed are cool too, because
Yeah.
we don't expect like a $4 card. Come on.
Right. Yo, basic
Come on.
land, yeah, for sure.
What are you doing?
Well, there's $1.70. You can do the retro, this one, the one of the schematics.
Whatever I win, Snoop.
Yep, signed copy. Yep, whatever he wins. So when you guys
Or
win,
at
we
least.
give you guys cards. When we win, or when Lowry wins, you guys give us signed cards of what the stump is. And if it's expensive, then it's a basic land. But speaking of that, we do need more people to enter. I know we haven't done it for a month and a half, but we need to fill up the entries again. So if you can, you're part of Discord, message myself with your card. And if it has to be that's what it was. Card has to be in at least 10,000 EDH rec decks and has to have been printed in the last 2 years. So, or no, 2 years, older than 2 years. There we go. 2 years or older. So 10,000 EDH rec decks or two years and older. So you're part of the Discord, message me with your entry. It's free. And then if you're not a part of the Discord, you can enter as well. Just email us at CommanderSmiths@gmail.com. And I think that'll wrap it for this week. We didn't have a blackout of my sound, so we're good. Maybe next week is Secret Lair? Who knows? I don't know. No idea. But all right, gang, that should do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
I love boobs. I'm talking tatas. I love boobs. I'm bonkers for honkers. I love boobs. Thanks for the memories. I love boobs.
Boop.